Today I was really thinking hard on how to incorporate these strange places into new content, and today I hope to start a new series. Points of Interest is like a series where I'll just briefly explain a unique place and hopefully become a pretty good tour guide moving forward, I guess. And also, only a small margin of my viewers are actually subscribed, so if you end up liking this, consider subscribing. It does help me a lot. So the first location I wanted to talk about is the Odessa catacombs. It's the largest series of tunnels on Earth, stretching an estimated 1,550 miles. And at first that doesn't even seem like that much, but that would be equivalent to walking like 27,000 football fields end to end. And if you're going to explore this, you might as well have the knowledge of your map as well. Here's a picture of it. Really easy to follow. I mean, you probably won't get lost. And you may be like me and just wondering, like, why is this even a thing? And it's actually because it started in the early 1800s when the builders needed a mass amount of limestone to supply for their gargantuan structures on the surface world. During World War II, it was actually used as like a bunker by the rebels and other people that were trying to get away from the Nazis. They lived in there in like groups of more than 100, and there's probably a lot of them dead. Back to the present though, a lot of smugglers and other criminal groups will use these tunnels, and it's pretty easy to see why, because it's not illegal to enter them, and there's more than 1,000 entrances. Also, they're not fully mapped either, so that map you saw earlier, that could even be like 1/64th of it, I have no idea. But even people whose profession is to just solely map out the catacombs, it's super dangerous because you gotta spend like 3 days down there, and not even they have done the whole journey. Moving on to the more interesting shit, one of the famous stories you may have already heard took place on January 1st, 2005. A girl named Masha basically got wasted ASF and got separated from her group. This led her to roam the catacombs for 3 days straight with no exit in sight. It took 2 years to recover her body. You may think the police discovered it, but obviously it's gonna be just some other teenagers, and here are the heroes right here. I must admit that the verdict on whether this is just an urban legend or not is pretty fuzzy. The general consensus is that the story may be fabricated, but the body is real. I mean, it's somebody's body, so. What isn't fabricated though is that in 2015, a man got into an argument with a young girl after sharing drinks in the catacombs. He eventually lured her deeper into the tunnels where he withdrew an axe and left her to die. He served 13 years. As well, in 2011, another body was discovered and identified as the remains of someone who was murdered. Of course, it took many months to discover, so the evidence was hard to uncover from just a skeleton. And that sort of just brings us to why I even mention this place at all, and that's because it's a pretty scary thought to me to not feel comfortable anywhere and then just knowing that you're eventually just going to pass away of either dehydration or starvation. And if you guys don't remember anything in this video, then it's okay, because there's only one thing I want you to know, and that's don't explore a labyrinth if you're drunk. At the end of this video, I just wanted to tie up some loose ends with the SpongeBob video that I made. It kind of got a lot more popular than I expected, and a lot of people were upset that I didn't really make a solid theory about it, which I said that the characters might go a little crazy when there's a vacuum in the scene, but that doesn't really explain much. People in the comments mentioned that it might be because when the vacuums are out, that they suck up the water around them and expose them to air, which might cause them to go crazy, which I might think is true, but also it might just be an inside joke between writers. I mean, I showed you guys that the same writers will use the same vacuums in multiple episodes, so. Anyways, if you guys have any more places that you think might be interesting for this series, please let me know, because I do read almost every single comment, believe it or not. And also, I know my upload schedule is like super shit, but I hope to be improving that pretty soon, so later.